Hello viewers. There is an insurance policy whose popularity is on the rise in the recent past. That policy is last expense cover, which is offered as a standalone benefit policy to take care of those who are not in organized groups like employment. Let's look at what this policy covers. Last expense insurance, also known as burial insurance or final expense insurance, is a type of life insurance policy that is designed to cover the costs associated with a person's funeral. The purpose of this type of insurance is to provide financial support for the deceased person's family and loved ones during a difficult time. Typically, last expense insurance policies are relatively small and provide coverage that can range from as little as 50,000 shillings all the way up to 500,000 shillings. The exact amount of coverage will depend on the policyholder's specific needs and budget. Unlike other types of life insurance policies, last expense insurance policies are typically easy to obtain and do not require a medical exam. However, they may come with higher premiums due to the increased risk associated with insuring older individuals or those with pre-existing medical conditions. Rising demand for last expense covers. The last few years have seen a rise in demand for more information on last expense insurance cover. This has driven industry players to design a standalone last expense insurance product with their main target being organized groups. These are some of the factors contributing to the rise in demand for last expense insurance covers. 1. Rising funeral costs. Funeral costs have been on the rise in recent years, and this has made it difficult for many families to cover the costs of a loved one's funeral. Last expense covers can help to alleviate this financial burden and ensure that families can give their loved ones a dignified send-off. 2. Limited access to traditional funeral cover. Traditional funeral covers are often designed for groups, such as members of a particular church or community. This can make it difficult for individuals who are not part of these groups to access funeral cover. Last expense covers offer a more accessible alternative that is available to anyone. 3. Increasing awareness of the importance of funeral planning. There is an increasing awareness of the importance of funeral planning. Many people are recognizing the need to plan for their final expenses, and last expense covers offer a convenient and affordable way to do so. It is common knowledge that the fundraising that people used to hold for funeral arrangements are slowly dying because of this awareness. 4. Changing attitudes towards life insurance. There is a growing acceptance of life insurance, with many people recognizing the benefits of having insurance to protect their families financially. Last expense covers are a type of life insurance, and this growing acceptance is contributing to the increasing demand for these policies. 5. Aging population. World's population is aging, and this is leading to an increased demand for last expense covers. As people get older, they are more likely to think about their final expenses and the financial impact that their death could have on their families. Last expense covers offer a simple and affordable way to plan for these expenses. Why funerals can be so expensive. Funerals can be expensive due to several factors, including cultural expectations. In many cultures, funerals are an important event, and there are cultural expectations around how they should be conducted. This can include the need for elaborate ceremonies and the provision of food and refreshments for mourners, which can significantly increase the cost of the funeral. Urbanization. As the population continues to urbanize, the cost of living in urban areas has increased. This includes the cost of funerals, which can be significantly higher in urban areas than in rural areas. Inflation. Inflation has been a significant challenge in recent years, and this has impacted the cost of funerals. The cost of funeral-related expenses, such as coffins, transportation, and flowers, has increased as a result of inflation. Limited competition. The funeral industry is largely dominated by a few large companies, which can limit competition and drive up prices. This can make it difficult for families to find affordable funeral services. Lack of planning. Many families do not plan for funerals, which can make it difficult to manage the cost of the funeral when a loved one passes away. This can lead to families overspending or taking on debt to cover the cost of the funeral. Individual budgetary items that could make funeral arrangements costly. There are several items that can make funerals more expensive in Kenya, including 1. Medical bills. There are instances where someone dies in hospital after a long illness and the medical bills have not either been paid, or was partly paid. The hospitals do insist that these medical bills will have to be paid before they can release the body for burial. This can drive up the cost of funeral arrangements since the medical bills will have to be paid first. 2. Funeral homes or mortuary services. Funeral homes offer a range of services, including embalming, transportation, and preparation of the body. These services can significantly increase the cost of the funeral. 3. Coffins and caskets. Coffins and caskets can be one of the most significant expenses associated with funerals. Depending on the type of coffin or casket selected, the cost can range from several thousand to tens of thousands of Kenyan shillings. 4. Flowers and decorations. Flowers and decorations can add to the overall cost of the funeral. This includes floral arrangements, wreaths, and other decorations used to adorn the casket or the burial site. 5. Transportation. Transportation costs can be a significant expense associated with funerals. This includes the cost of transporting the body from the mortuary to the funeral home or place of worship and then to the burial site. 6. Catering. It is customary in many Kenyan cultures to provide food and refreshments for mourners during the funeral. Catering can add to the overall cost of the funeral. 7. Gravesite preparation. The preparation of the burial site, including digging and filling the grave, can also add to the cost of the funeral. 8. Funeral programs and printing. Many families create funeral programs to distribute to mourners. These programs can include photographs, poems, and other information about the deceased. The cost of printing these programs can add to the overall cost of the funeral. Other items driving up the cost of funerals are tents and chairs, public address systems and security, among others. These items can make funerals more expensive, and families should carefully consider which services and products they need to ensure that the funeral is both affordable and dignified. Importance of having a last expense cover. Having a last expense cover can be important for several reasons. 1. Financial protection. Funeral costs can be expensive, and having a last expense cover can provide financial protection for your loved ones. It can help to alleviate the financial burden that your family may face during an already difficult time. 2. Peace of mind. Knowing that you have a last expense cover can provide peace of mind, both for you and your family. It ensures that your final expenses will be taken care of, without placing a financial burden on your loved ones. 3. No delays in funeral arrangements. Without a last expense cover, your family may have to wait for funds to be raised before they can pay for your funeral arrangements. This can cause unnecessary delays and additional stress during an already challenging time. Availability of cash eases planning and reduces the duration of the funeral. 4. No need to use savings or retirement funds. If you don't have a last expense cover, your family may have to dip into savings or retirement funds to cover your burial expenses. This can have long-term financial implications for your loved ones. The last expense protects family wealth from depletion during funeral arrangements. 5. Flexibility. Last expense covers are typically smaller policies, which means they can be more affordable than other types of life insurance policies. This makes them a flexible option that can be tailored to your specific needs and budget. 6. Provides you with relief from the burden of raising funds from friends and family members. Death can occur at any time. Without financial preparation, a family will obviously strain while raising funds to meet the burial expenses. This is even more real with the current inflation and recession being witnessed. The last expense payout will take care of these expenses, therefore, reducing the burden. 7. Helps you give your loved one a dignified send-off. Items like getting a good mortuary, hearse, casket, clothes, lowering gear, etc. are deemed to be prestigious and can raise the profile of a funeral event. With the last expense payment, one is able to easily get these items and give their loved ones a dignified send-off. 8. Reduces friction among family members and even friends. Funerals can be very stressful, especially when there are bills to be paid and some of the family members may feel that they are carrying a lot of burdens. This can lead to resentment towards those perceived not to be pulling enough weight. Overall, having a last expense cover can provide important financial protection and peace of mind for you and your family during a difficult time. Now that we have seen the importance of last expense cover, let's see who can purchase it, who it covers, and how it works. Last expense cover is purchased by an individual alone or as part of a group to cover members of his or her family. The policy is designed to cover 1. The member who is the policy owner. 2. Spouse. 3. Children. 4. Parents, and 5. Parents-in-law. When one is desirous of purchasing this cover, they will be provided with various limits and applicable premiums for each limit. They will then choose a limit suitable for them, provide necessary documents as requested by the insuring company, and pay the premiums for the cover to bind. When the policy owner or any of the mentioned dependents passes on, the policy will pay the last expense benefit to assist the family with the funeral expenses of a departed family member. Claiming the benefits under this policy is simple. Report to the insurance company and provide the required claims documents for the insurance company to pay. What do you think about this policy? Do you want one? Visit your insurance provider, or call us. We hope this has shed some light. Please support us by commenting and liking our videos. We will see you again soon.